Well, hi. Didn't see you there. How's everybody doing today? Silence. Okay, I got you. Get you some of this Premier protein. 150 grams of protein. But yeah. So today we're going to be talking about butterflies and the importance of them in Adventure Time and what I think they mean. So referring to season 3, episode 7, I believe the name was Still. In this episode, Finn and Jake wake up paralyzed and they can only move their mouth and their eyes. And upon realizing this, Ice King comes in and turns out he's the reason why. So freezes them and essentially starts to harass them as a way to force them to bond with him in the most Ice King fashion of trying to build a stronger friendship. But Finn decides, all right, well, I'm useless right now, so I'm going to project myself into the astral plane to summon an astral beast, which is like the most Finn way of solving a problem ever. But he does this in like record time and ends up connecting with a spirit or some ferocious beast in his mind, but actually ends up summoning a gang of butterflies instead of what he thought was a gorilla based off the ferocious voice he heard. So when you see a butterfly, what do you think? Some weak, defenseless pollinator sips nectar all day, tastes things with its feet, drinks the blood, sweat, and tears of any living organism. Probably not that last one, maybe, but not something that can just, have any like power to it. Not anything that could deal damage to any other living organism. So we would think. But when the butterflies show up, Finn's initial reaction is all junk. Did I summon butterflies? Yes, you did summon butterflies. But summoning butterflies is exactly what needed to happen. See, these butterflies aren't just regular butterflies. They seem to work in some type of team, but it's also being able to be mind controlled in a way by Jake to turn into a giant hand to kind of slap some reason into Finn. Then later on, they're able to pick up both Finn and Jake. Mind you, I don't know how much they weigh, but the fact that a butterfly can do that shows that it has more potential than originally thought. Thing is, when you see a butterfly by itself, just like one single unit, you might not think too much of it. But that also reminds me of things like the little nanobots. I'm not sure if people know the movie Big Hero 6. I think it was Disney who made it, I believe. But the little nanobots in there can't really do much to a human by themselves, but when they come as a huge black wave of just micro robots, you'll be running for sure. So when they turn into a giant hand, I'm like, oh, okay, so there's more to it. They must have a meaning. They must be able to like be in tune with these two. Later, after the episode finishes with everybody being paralyzed, except Gunther, of course, because he's a Gunther. I took the time out to research why butterflies of all things. I know Finn said he heard a very vicious sounding voice in the astral plane, and once again, he's just like, oh, it's probably going to be a gorilla or something. But it was a butterfly. Why a butterfly? Now, when you have an astral beast, it's meant for you specifically. Everybody could have the same astral beast. It's essentially a group of people could have the same one, but there's a reason why you have that. There's something in you that's attuned to that animal specifically. So I know that at least. I took the time out to research what butterflies symbolize. Obviously, the obvious thing is metamorphosis, some type of change, rebirth, growth, hope, something like that, right? But I wanted to look in deeper to find out what other professionals think. And an author by the name of Erica Benefour, Fire, Beneflower, for I have to figure out how to pronounce it. But yeah, either way, still, puts in her book Animal medicine. Butterflies also symbolize rebirth, hope, and bravery. Now, continuing, seeing one is a sign of that positive change is transpiring and brave forces are watching over you and ensuring graceful transitions. The butterfly encourages you to flow through your transition with confidence, he writes. Much like us, caterpillars have no way of knowing what's coming their way next, but they listen to their inner call to go within anyway, allowing death and rebirth to take place. Um, Carrie Barrett, I think I pronounced that right, says butterflies also symbolize freedom. Our true self can also fly free. Now, I personally think the bravery aspect of it, the freedom aspect of it, and some type of being watched and guided, like some type of guardian angel type deal, applies to Finn a lot. But there's more. So, butterflies, much like other animals, have some type of symbolism in other cultures. And specifically in the Mesoamerican culture, um, they are believed to be brave warriors who eventually become birds, hummingbirds, or butterflies after they died, sipping nectar for eternity. Now, Finn is for sure a warrior. Only thing he do is play with swords. So to think that he would have summoned a bunch of spirits of brave warriors to come help him in his time of need is kind of crazy. Hello, and welcome to Theory Time. This is a little short, like segment away from the multiverse Finn regular content where I like to add in my own weird thoughts about stuff. Mostly not gonna be correct. They're just gonna be random, just things I think that would be cool if it happened. I don't know if it's true or not. But with that being said, topic at hand is the ghost that or spirits for the butterflies that I mentioned previously. And in, I believe, season three, episode two, mind you, these are half episodes. So I said season three, episode seven for still. That's technically the fourth episode, but like the second half of that is Wizard Battle. This is season three, episode two. So that's technically the fourth episode, but it's like cut in half because, the like 11-minute time for most cartoons at the beginning, so they eventually become like full length 22-minute episodes or whatever. Either way. But I was thinking season 3 episode 2 is the gladiator episode where they're in the fight king in the Roman Colosseum, and it's Finn and Jake, and they end up having to like fight each other to the death supposedly. And like um the the Lava Man song, probably one of my favorites. But in my head canon or my tinfoil hat theory brain, I'm thinking that they freed all the ghosts and spirits, and mind they're not just fighting each other either. They're actually like in relationships with each other. If you pay attention to what they said, one of them calls the other spirit that their love. They're like together, which falls in line with how they, work back in the Roman Colosseum days. But also, um they were freed at the end of the episode. They're walking out with Finn and Jake. Like they're coming out of the Coliseum with them, and they're just like, oh, they're bros or whatever. But I'm thinking that maybe since they got let loose, they're essentially freed from their ghostly form or their captivity, as like you can have a spirit be bound to a place for a reason because something happened, but they're freed from that. Maybe they became the butterflies in that universe. Mind you, I brought up the Mesoamerican thing, but maybe it's not specifically for that. It doesn't have to be specifically for that either. 'Cause there's not really any Mayan and Aztec things that I could think of off the top of my head in Adventure Time anyway. But I still think that would be kind of cool, and it would kind of make sense given that it's literally in the same season, if not one or two episodes apart, that they freed some spirits that are for sure warriors as well, and they literally fought them in hand-to-hand combat. Well, like sword and shield combat. Either way, fought them Roman Colosseum style, defeated them, then freed their spirits, and they eventually got to be with their significant others, like they're together, they're romantic partners. They eventually got to be with them because Finn and Jake freed them. So I feel like it would make more sense for them to repay a favor by helping out Finn in his time of need, and it reinforces that because it's literally within the same season and it's extremely close together. So I don't know. That's my theory. But back to our regularly scheduled program. Crazy. Which is like it seems to be like on the nose perfect. Like I'm pretty sure this is exactly what they meant, if not just messing around with the character. But maybe that's what they meant, maybe that's what it was supposed to be, or maybe it was just all a joke. No idea. But until next time on Finn's Multiverse.